got no time to waste.
It's not like you start streaming.
So basically, I can start the stream,
Yep.
but then when I start it, it says the game doesn't allow live streaming, which is probably half the reason why you can't include your audio.
It's saying you're live right now, and you can see the game. But again, for the very same problem, I'm not including my audio.
Which is just very, very peculiar. So the stream is back up and running. Everything's fine. But you just can't be heard, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Or if you can be heard, it's very, very silent.
No, at this point, I've got the stream on and everything. So, we're going to quote. Hope it allows people. Allows this. Allows you to talk about it. And then I'm going to show.
I'll pass on the messages. Hey Junior, we have made a new Xbox party about 4 or 5 times now and nothing has worked. Basically the problem is I can stream it through NXR, obviously, because you guys are watching it, but when it flashes up on Xbox it says the game doesn't allow live streaming, meaning Jaywall doesn't have an option to include his audio. Which is an odd situation.
Have you got something on your Xbox?
No, it just oil prints it, just tell him to get a grip. I've looked through all the settings and there's nothing there that's disabling streaming. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be able to stream it to everyone to watch. Have Jaywall stream. The problem is Jaywall has to leave early, so there won't be interviews. So
It had to be that way.
Jake is giving us a weather update. Apparently it's going to be dry for the whole quali session.
Yeah. Just pretend I said something really interesting.
Yeah, Benry's saying we can hear you. You're just very, very quiet.
Oh, okay.
I mean, first driver coming out the pit is Honest Raccoon. We've got a few more drivers coming out the pits as well. We've got Oil Prince coming out. We've got Yathmaster Flash and Shaman coming out on that. Well, for their outlaps. Is there any way you can turn your volume up?
No,
It's at the max.
high power.
Let's see what we can do. Jaywall is the highest volume he can go for me, people, so...
That's not great. That's really not.
Well, now you are the fullest volume. Who's hosting the stream? Me. I'm hosting the stream because Jaywall has to leave early at the end of the race. So,
There is interviews, Jake. There is interviews. With lots of doing them.
yes, I'm going to be doing them.
This would be a good introduction back to comms.
Oh, great. Back to my comms and I'm on my own. Will you still do interviews? I'll still do interviews. Yeah, of course. Make him shout. Yeah, Jill, just shout for the whole, shout for the whole thing. We have, let's have a look. Data enabled. Have our first driver on a lap. We've got our first few, sorry. So we've got Jaffmaster Flash, who is now on a lap. Shaman, who is now on a lap. But we also have a yellow that's come out in Sector 1. Who was that for? Possibly Honest Raccoon? Maybe having a bit of a moment. Let's ride on board with... Let's ride on board with Jaff to see what he does in the Haas. Lovely helmet design, actually. Might as well commentate alone because we can't hear Jaywall. I will pass on messages from him. Show track map. Sorry, there we go. Jav green through turn 9 and 10. Very, very nice. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1 quickly cleared up. Michael Massey quickly on clearing up the yellow flags. Jaff rounds the final few corners for his lap. Let's see where this puts him. There's another yellow flag coming out. A lot of drivers maybe going wide. As the first lap comes in at 1:23.8. Johan has retired from the session. Where is he heading off? Oil Prince, another driver to put in a lap at 23.4. Crazy Griefer at 22.0 for his first lap. That is very impressive in the Alfa Romeo. Shaman doing a 1:25.2. He's going for another lap. And he is invalidated. If Jay was speaking, we can't hear him, and tell him to rejoin the party possibly. He has.
I'll try that again.
Johan has a qualifying ban. Oh, of course he does. I had forgotten about the qualifying ban. Thank you very much for that update, CD. Okay. I'll invite you back. Callum 11 in the other Alfa Romeo, rounding the final corner. Let's see what this lap does and where this puts him. Very good lap from Callum, puts him P2, just behind Crazy Grief with a 1:22.8. Let's see if we can get the one and only back. Okay, we've invited him. Jaffin improving on his lap, a 1:22.5. Very impressive. Looks like he might be going again. Officer Wall. Pardon?
I'm gonna go restart my internet and oh no,
Probably. Eugenio doing a 1:23.0 in the McLaren. Very impressive from him.
I'm gonna have to go restart.
Okay. Just let him know. Very good laps coming in from the drivers at the moment. Sorry for the technical difficulties with J-Wall and my stupid Xbox not letting him be heard. Apologies for that. Oh, and Crazy Grief for spun. Big problem for Crazy Grief for spinning there. Hurdle putting in a lap in the Red Bull, 23.0. Obviously, Hurdle getting the promotion to Tier 2, liaising with Callum 28, who has just recently switched to wheel, meaning that he has took the sacrifice down to Tier 3, meaning that Hurdle has got the promotion in the Red Bull to Tier 2. So great for Hurdle. It'd be a good place for him to show his pace again and be somewhere where he feels that he can fight. A few other drivers on laps. Raza has invalidated. Also got Jake, who looks to be on a lap. Right on board with him. Jake rounding the final few corners to see what he can do in the Williams. Very smooth out of the last corner. Where will this lap put him? P3. Very good lap from Jake. 1:22.6. And he cuts the first corner. Maybe going for another lap, so not great for Jake. But that first lap initially was very, very good from him. Braz are now running the final corner. Looks like he's going to be going for another lap due to the fact he obviously invalidated. We've got Luke, who is now on a lap in the AlphaTauri. Another great helmet design. Also got Gale, who looks to be on a lap. Same with Petwado. Rue is now coming round to make his lap. He's right on board with Raz in the Mercedes. Let's see what he can do Callum28 saying Hurdle gonna smash it. Let's hope he can fill your boots, Callum. Obviously you making the switch to wheel. Hopefully that goes well for you. Raz coming up to the tricky sector. Gale putting in a lap of 123.5. Goes ahead of Shaman, his teammate. Philip putting in a lap as well. 122.5 in the other Haas. Great lap from Philip. And Raz has invalidated his lap. Not a good start for Raz. He's going to need to eventually put himself together. Petwado putting in a lap of 123.6. Luke just behind on 125.1. Possibly having a bit of an off somewhere. He's also invalidated. And completely cuts that corner. Luke, what are you doing? Another yellow in Sector 2 who has had a bit of an off. Could it have maybe been Philip? So currently standing, Crazy Groove at 122.0 is the benchmark. 0. Gregor Mullen setting a lap in the Ferrari at 122.3. Great lap from him. See a lot of changes up and down the grid this year. For example, you know, with Luke making the move away, and he's obviously gone to AlphaTauri. Got Hurdle in the Red Bull. Jake in the Williams made the move away from Alpine. He's invalidated his lap by the looks of things. Got Gregor, who I believe in the Haas and is now in the Ferrari. So yeah, a few driver changes here and there, mixing the grid up a bit. Yap's squad is the same, P1, 3, 4 and 5. He's definitely done well with his driver pickings. Raz finally sets a lap, puts in P2, a 122.1, and then Honest Raccoon in the other Mercedes, a 122.2. I think I might have got the laps confused there. Raz a 22.1, Raccoon a 22.2. The TP for Merc going to be absolutely loving them laps. For sure. As Shaman retires from the session in P15, we've got Rue, who is rounding the corner. Obviously must have been on a bit of a slow lap because he's definitely off the pace with that lap. Where is Dad? Bradders? He can't be heard. That's where he is. He's restarting his whole entire internet. Rob, P9, 122.8. Obviously, he has made the switch to wheel, so hopefully this helps Rob improve his skill. Obviously, he's took the drop down to Tier 2. And it'll be great to see what he can do now that he's got a completely new setup for racing. Eugenio saying, I don't know whether to feel safe or not. Ooh, Eugenio might be playing it a bit dangerously. Maybe he's got time for another lap. He's got 5 minutes left in the session, so should be all okay. The game is also quiet, so it might be a setting issue. I don't know what's going on with the stream. Maybe after the stream, I'll just have to do a complete wipeout of all of my settings. And just completely change everything. I'm improvising with what I've got. I haven't done my comms for a while now. Currently Crazy Groove still does have the fastest lap of 122.0, but Raz isn't far behind. Oil Prince darts into the pits. He's currently P11. Is he going in for new tyres? Is he going to have enough time to set a lap? Rue finally gets a lap on the board, a 123.0 in the Alpine. Bradders will be very happy with that lap, I'm sure. And we have a yellow in Sector 1, probably for Rue slowing down. Rio looks to be on a lap in the McLaren. Let's see how he does. He's coming up to the tricky part of the track. And he's slowed down by the looks of things. Has he slowed down? He's incredibly down on time. This is Hurdle going for another lap. By the looks of things, he is. The Red Bull man going for a lap. Let's see what he can do. Honest Raccoon retiring from the session. Obviously, he feels pretty comfortable where he is. Same with Raz. Both Mercs feeling pretty comfortable where they are. 2 and 3 is pretty good for them. Will be enough to get them through to the session, I'm pretty sure. Hurdle has invalidated his lap, so he's probably going to back off. Got quite a few cars running well at the moment, obviously. Gregor running well, Callum in the Alfa Romeo running well. We've got a yellow in Sector 1. Someone going slow, Rue coming into the pits. Eugenio has invalidated his lap. Obviously, like we said, Hurdle invalidated his lap. Gale invalidated his lap. Petwado on a lap in the Alpine. Let's see what he can do. CD saying big up the Mercs, of course. CD will be highly impressed with that. Luke setting an absolute stonker of a lap. P3 at 22.1. And he's not that far behind Raz and the Mercedes. Bit of a statement from Luke. Petwado running nicely through 9 and 10. Let's see what he can do for the final sector. Bradders will be looking for the Alpines to be setting some stonkers of a lap. Yeah, I'll do a quick check between Q1 and Q2, Manoi, just to see what's vibing with it. Petwado's coming up to the line. Let's see where this lap puts him. He's currently P17, puts him to P11. Very good lap from Petwado, but obviously playing a bit with fire. Let's see what happens when people start to put in more laps. It's a very impressive lap from Luke. See, he's invalidated. He's now going into the pits. He's pretty safe where he is. P3 is a very good lap from him. Seems to be that probably Callum 11 will be safe as well. Same with Gregor Mullin. Luke on Oil will be right up there this season for constructors. That would be very good. It's all up to Luke and Oil what they do and how they conduct themselves throughout the races, obviously. We've got Petwado going on another lap. We do, and we have a yellow in Sector 1 again, who has had a bit of a moment. Gale has invalidated. Rob's retired, obviously pretty comfortable where he is, he feels. P10. Gregor Mullin retiring from the session. Quite a few drivers now deciding to retire, obviously feeling comfortable where they are. There's not that long left in the session. Gale letting Hurdle through. Hurdle is on a flyer, and he's currently P15, so we'll see what Hurdle does with this. What should be his last lap. Oil Prince putting a very good lap in, P5. Great job. Hurdle on the limit right now. CD saying, come on Alpa, get a lap in. I know. Alpa is P12, a 122.9. Hurdle's going to round the final few corners. We've got a yellow flag. Hurdle going on to the final straight. Coming up to the line. What's he going to do with this lap? P16 still for Hurdle. He will not be a very happy man with that lap at all. Know that for a fact. But, very good session, Q1, for the AlphaTauri boys. P3, obviously Luke in the pit. P5 for Oil Prince, very good. Another good session for the Alfa Romeos as well, by the looks of things, Callum 11 and Crazy Griefer. Good session for them, and obviously a good session for the Mercs as well. Second and fourth is great, obviously being split by one of the AlphaTauris. And that is Q1 finished, so let's see where the last few people shake up. Jake finishing P10. Alpa, who is going to round onto the straight. Let's see where this lap puts him. This looks to be a very good lap from Alpha. Only P11. Just ahead of Rob. Petwado finishing P13. Brewmaster seems to be on a lap in the Alpine. Let's see what he can do. 13th to 16th separated by less than a tenth. Very good analysis there from Bradders. It's Rue going into sector 3. Let's see if he can improve on his lap. So obviously there's still 2 minutes remaining for people that are on laps. Can Rue make himself feel a bit more comfortable about approaching Q2? P12 for Rue, bumping Rob down to P13, Petwado to P14, Gale to P15. And I think that is all of everyone's laps done. There we go, everyone's laps are in for the session. Eugenio screaming no! And like I said, Gelfors has just eked it through on time. He will be very happy with that, I'm sure. Lots, what were your predictions of who will be the champion and constructors champion of Tier 2? Ooh, okay. We've got a lot of quick drivers. The Tier 2 lineup for me is more stacked than the Tier 1 lineup. The Tier 1 lineup is good, but the Tier 2 lineup is very quick. For me, Will J will be joining back. I will try and get him in and see what happens. For me, there are a lot of drivers that can compete for the title, but there'll be a lot of drivers that will be wanting to prove themselves. Crazy for being one that stands out a lot. Obviously, you know, Raz, he's very quick in Tier 1. It's unfortunate for me that he didn't get a Tier 1 seat, but hopefully he can improve on his, what we know is good pace, into Tier 2, so he could be up there fighting for the title. There's also a lot of quick drivers like Callum 11. He can make a good run for the title. Jake can make a good run for the title. I reckon Jaff can make a good run for the title in the Haas. There's a lot of drivers, but for me, I think Crazy Griefer might pip it. I think he's got the pace overall. But from the session, we have lost Eugenio, Hurdle, Rio, Shaman, and Yoan. Obviously, Eugenio just getting bumped out, which is very disappointing for him. But the laps were looking strong for Eugenio, so obviously now he's got a lot to build up on for the race. So, champion of Tier 2, to round off the question, I think Crazy Griefer will do it. Constructors is a whole other matter because there's a lot of strong driver pairings. So, for example, I look at Mercedes and I think that's quite a strong driver pairing. Same with Haas. I think Haas have a really strong driver lineup. Same with the AlphaTauris. And I'm not going to undermine Alfa Romeo having a very strong lineup as well. So for me, I think mainly Alfa Romeo will be the ones that will stand out for me to be constructors. So champion, I reckon, will be Crazy Griefer. Constructors will be Alfa Romeo. I reckon it will be a double Alfa Romeo succession. And Razza has crashed. Raz has crashed. And Jaff has got a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Raz. That's not good at all. Oh dear. Raz is out of the session. And that is very unfortunate for the Mercedes of Raz. After having such a good Q1, he crashes almost immediately going into Q2. That's very unfortunate. CD will not be a happy man with that. Massive shock going into Q2. Raz will not be participating in the session. I'm a bit speechless, honestly. I don't really know what to say to that. And obviously, Jeff's now got a 5-place grid penalty for that collision, which is very unfortunate for him because he also looked to have a really good Q1 session. Jake has retired from the session. We're dropping like flies over here. Where is J-Will? Basically, my the stream glitched and it wouldn't let J-Will be heard in the session. So he's reset his Xbox and his internet to see if that works, but he hasn't shown back online yet. So I will liaise with him about what happens. It's all gone down in Q2. It's all going down in Q2. It's all going down. This is where all the drama happens. This is where all of the drama goes down. I'm getting updates from J-Will. His internet has completely crashed. And Jaff's retired as well. Obviously, that's probably on the back of what's happened with his collision with Raz, which, honestly, if someone has clipped that, it'd be great to actually see what happened. Because for me, it just looked like Raz come out of the pits and didn't slow down in time. And hit the back of Jaff and completely his wheel just came off. Luke setting the first benchmark of the session, a 122.9. Getting updates from Jake in the Discord saying that chicane is a arse. Not sure if I'm going to get told off for swearing. Crazy Griefer setting a 122.7 on the mediums. So I'm going to look at tyres here. Because obviously now it's going to be a mix of tyres. Luke set his lap on the softs. Crazy Griefer set his on the mediums. Honest Raccoon a 23.0 on the mediums. Alper a 23.6 on the mediums. So there's a good mix-up of tyres here. We've also got Rob, who's gone on softs, and Petwado, who's gone on softs. Lots alone. I'm alone, Jake. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a lone wolf for today until I can sort the problem out with J-Will and J-Will's internet decides what it wants to do. We'll just have to alternate and see what happens. Petwado setting a lap, a 122.9 in the Alpine, putting him P3. He looks to be going for another lap. Galeforce getting out of the way. Galeforce has also set a lap on the mediums, a 124.3. But he has invalidated, so he's backed off of this lap. So the only other driver now to set a lap on the softs, who is still in the pits, is Rob. We Dutch people love swearing, god damn it. Oh dear. I always remember I just always get told off for swearing. I get dragged in for a mid-quali interview, it's like, Lottie, don't swear. We've got a yellow in Sector 1, who's had a bit of a moment. I am not sure who's had a bit of a moment there. Completely cleared up by Michael Massey though. Oil Prince looks to be going on a lap. On the mediums, he's currently sitting P12. Let's see what he can do. Going a bit up on the curbs into that corner. Now coming up to the tricky part of the track, the bit where everyone seems to be having spins. Callum 11 also setting a lap, P6, a 123.6. Petwado, the fastest lap of quali, a 122.6. Oh, Prince has had a spin and he's out the session. That is really unfortunate for Oil Prince. Going through 9-10 once again, the corner I said is that everyone is getting caught out on, he is spun into the wall. And he is out of qualifying. That is highly unfortunate. Callum 11 has also retired from the session. Has he had a bit of an accident? We are all dropping like flies. 3 out of 4 are genuine contenders that have crashed. That is not boding well for what the season's going to look like. Rue's taking it quite steady through that corner. It's catching out a lot of people today. Took away the thunder of Petwado getting a 22.6 as well. He's currently put it the quickest out of all of the drivers. And to think he was taking the mick out of J-Will for not finishing last season. Brothers, we do not talk of what happened before this. This is madness. This Q2 is complete and utter madness. In all of that commotion, Petwado is P1 currently, with Crazy Grief with P2, Luke P3, and Raccoon P4. Second to fourth are all in pits. Gregor is out on track. He looks to be setting a lap in the Ferrari. He's currently P5. He did a 23.0 on the mediums. He's coming up to the tricky sector of the track. Let's hope that history doesn't repeat itself with what's happened to the other drivers throughout the session. Oil Prince saying, don't know what you're talking about. You damn well know, boy. Gregor taking it snail speed through there. He's obviously backed off the lap. Alpa is currently P6 at 23.1. Gelforce P7 at 124.3. Rob P3 on the softs at 22.8. That is highly impressive from the Red Bull man. He will be very, very happy with that lap, I am sure. Where was I up to? Rue has set a 129. I don't think that is an honest lap of what he can do. He has invalidated this lap as well. The only driver to have not set a lap yet is Philip, who is now starting a lap. So I'm going to ride on board with him, see what he can do. Obviously, like I said, he's currently sitting P15. If he can set a lap now, the bottom 5 is basically decided for the session. Petwado is retired from the session, obviously very comfortable P1. Very impressive lap from him. Could he be contending at the top of the grid for Q3? Oh, Philip's had a bit of a spin. Doesn't look to be any damage. He styled it off nicely. We have word from J-Will. We're going to invite him and see what happens. And if you guys can't hear him, then I don't know what to do. I will just pass on messages from him. Philip's obviously backed off his lap. Very unfortunate for Philip, because he was flying through them first few corners. J-Will is back. Can we hear him, is the question. Stream, please say that you can hear the man himself. Ugh, I will have to be a little pigeon throughout. Okay. J-Will's doing some detective work. There's 4 minutes left of Q2. Petwado's currently P1. And he has retired. He did a 22.6. And then Crazy Grief for P2 did a 22.7. The top four did all their laps and softs. Rob put it P3, 22.8. Luke Nethermind has just smashed that lap out the park. He's done a 21.7 on softs. If I go into my own party, no, there's no little box you have to tick or anything like that.
To include audio and my feed.
Bio options. Audio settings. No, there's no like just option for anything.
Right. Not that.
Not that.
When you set yours up, did you put the party chat option?
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought you would.
should be 100. just run on board with Luke. I think he's going to do another lap, or he's going to try and set another lap. What was I was running you down on what was happening, wasn't I? Raccoon's P5, he did a 23.0 on the mediums. Gregor retired, he did a 23.0 on the mediums as well. And it's just occurred to me, Raccoon and Gregor Mullin did the exact same lap. The exact same time. Raccoon did his lap on 1 lap old mediums, Gregor did his on 2 lap old mediums. Ollie saying, Lots, where do you think you'll personally finish in the Tier 3 championship? We'll decide where I'll place myself when I race on Wednesday. That's all I'm going to say. I don't even think Jay will knows where he's going to place in the championship. I mean, Jay will say in P1, so we'll take it as it goes, I guess. So Manoy's saying he can hear you extremely vaguely.
Yeah, I think that's
Alpa's retired from the session. He's P7. Yes.
If everybody's in parties, can I not make it and then it'll come through as your game potentially?
But
Then I won't be able to move you.
you won't be able to hear me. That's, yeah, that would be the only diddum with that. I will have a gander through settings. Brad is saying between Q2 and 3 if Lots took a screenshot of the stream settings for some debug checks. Lots best win or she's being dropped. Oh, thanks, Bradders. 2 drivers left to retire. Has Gale gone for another lap? He has. I'm going to ride on board with him, considering him... Well, yeah, he's P9 currently. So yeah, there was 5 retirees. So Callum 11 I think had a spin. Raz crashed with Jeff coming out of the pits. I caught it on stream. It was a bit of a confusing one. So I think it's been clipped and I think it's going to be discussed. Gale's invalidated his lap, but it's fine because he's P9. Yeah, Gale doesn't need to push on this lap at all. He's through. No? He's been dropped to P11.
Ooh.
Philip set a 20...
Of course, Mr. P11 himself might be about to come to P11.
Gale might be going back to being Mr. P11. Philip set his lap and it put him P9. He did 23.8 on the mediums.
Oh, he makes the flag. He makes it.
He can go again. Alright, Gale. Don't bottle it. We're going to ride on board with him, obviously. This will probably be the last lap of the session. Ollie saying quite a few new drivers for Tier 3, so it's very unpredictable. You are 100% right, Ollie. It's going to be very unpredictable. That's why Wednesday is going to be full of kerfuffles and confusions. Jay Wool's saying a Manoy, Lots and Jay Wool podium. Highly unlikely to happen, but let's see. Gale is... He's on mediums. He's got to take it cautious through this corner. 9 and 10 has been catching a lot of drivers out. It's going to be interesting to see who gets caught out in Q3 by them corners. Gale or Philip. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Gale's rounding the final corner. It's going up to the finish line. What's gonna come of this? And I think Gale, Mr. P11 himself, has done it once again. I think he is P11.
Oh, by the way, if I'm not defining
Okay, cool. So, the eliminated drivers from Q2, Callum 11, unfortunately, Gale Force just misses out on Q3. Mr. P11 himself, Razza Gamer finishing P12, Jake finishing P13, and Oil Prince finishing 14th. And then I'm pretty sure Jaff obviously finishing P15, and Jaff also got a 5-place grid penalty for his collision with Raz. So, very unfortunate for Jaff.
Are you able to check which seconds?
Yes, Gale saying he lost over a tenth on the last corner. Right, sorry if you can't see anything. Here we go. We are back for the first Q3 session of Season 5 Tier 2.
Yeah, I'm not spoiling anything. That's just. I don't
Ooh.
know.
Now I'm just going to have to experiment after the stream and see what happens.
No, I'll get.
I just sent the thing. Yeah, but he might not even be able to be heard.
But then at least we'll know it's my end.
It's probably my end, but we'll have to see.
Have you sent me
Could you do it, please? Because I'm just riding on board for Q3. Get the lap data on. We've got the full track map up. We are ready for the first Q3 session of Season 5.
Alright. Just check if it allows you to include the video mode just a bit from I've been having.
Right. We're trialling something, stream. So if you suddenly hear Night Owl little voice appear,
See, include my audio.
No, but yeah, that's
so it's on my end, the problem.
Yeah,
it's gonna be the same problem either way, mate. But yeah, I don't think this button really fits.
If anyone can hear a little Night Owl,
Hi.
please say. You probably can't, but oh well.
I'll probably be really silent like Jay.
Yeah, he's gonna be really quiet.
Mouse. Very quiet. Can't really understand. I don't know. Have you tried letting Jay while it's Twitch stream?
I can't, so I've got to go for interviews.
Okay. I might be able to then, but
Yeah, but at this rate, if no one can be heard, I can't do interviews.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's true as well. So at the moment, it's like no interviews, no interviews. We've got which one we might get to commentators.
God's sake. Sorry, chat.
But then I hosted this Twitch stream, didn't I, on my own account,
Mm.
and it didn't give me the option to, it didn't give Watson the option to include the video either. From what I can tell, when I looked at it on Reddit, I use Reddit,
Ooh, Crazy Grief having a bit of a wobble on his lap.
and restart your Xbox to get that problem to fix.
that work.
Right.
You just start one.
No, I can start one now. Okay.
If you want to see, so you can see if it
Okay. What's yeah? I'll start streaming.
Yeah, it's just that apparently all of the commentators are joining at the same volume.
Oh. So me and Jay will dead silent.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, Griefer invalidates his first lap. So Honest Raccoon has set the benchmark for the session of 121.8 on the soft for Mercedes. Gregor Mullen has just done a 121.7 on the soft for Ferrari. The laps are coming in
Yeah, I
quick and
started streaming Jay will
slick and quick.
No.
Is that the right phrase? Probably not.
give it back.
Brewmaster setting a 122.7 on the softs for Alpine. Bradders will be very, very happy with that lap. Rue will be very happy that he made it into the top 10. He was struggling quite a lot with Q2 and mainly Q3 as well, so he'll definitely feel that he will need to improve the pace in qualifying, but I know what Rue can do. We all know what Rue can do. So, let's just see what happens.
It wasn't like this.
It was. time that I've done before.
Philip setting a lap a 122.5 in the Haas. Petwado's also setting a lap a 122.9. He looks like he's going on another lap.
You know what, Joe, I think me and you might. I think lots of us do this solo. We can't be heard. Excellent comments.
Thick and fast. That was the phrase, Junior, not slick and quick. There you go, I invented a new phrase. Slick and quick. Luke setting another really good lap in the AlphaTauri, 121.9. He looks to be absolutely flying around Australia, and considering he said that this is one of the tracks he feels that he'd struggle with, throughout the week he's been saying how he's been picking up the pace, and he's been coming in the Discord saying, you know, my laps have been getting better and better. Clearly the improvements are massive because he's now P3. Alpa were 122.1, putting him P4 in the Williams. Another very good lap from Alpa. He likes to either leave it late or come out really early. Alpa going off track. Is someone behind him? Rob is coming through for a lap, that's why. But yeah, Eugenio, you were right, it was thick and fast. Jim really had to think. I was like, it's either slick and click or thick and fast. Gregor Mullen is setting the benchmark at 121.7 at the moment, with Honest Raccoon 121.8. Luke coming into the pits at 121.9, coming in at rapid speed. Alpa, like I said, in P4. Philip in P5 at 122.5. He's also in the pits. Rob looks to, I think, have backed off his lap. Our little fact from Brad is the fastest time put in Tier 1 was a 120 by Kimi in the Haas, unable to convert that pace into the wet weather of Q3 for the first pole of the season. Did I read that right? I think I did. Knit and Grit. That's another one, Manoy. Always forget about Knit and Grit. Yeah, Rob definitely backed off his lap because this is well off the pace, and he's going into the pits as well. So Rue is the only driver actually out on track at the moment, and he's on an out lap. So just want to ride on board with him because I want to see how he takes the corners. I want to see if he has a different approach to how, you know, other drivers may take it. Is he a bit more cautious through sectors where you can go a bit quicker? Which also gives me time to get in my predictions for pole position. There's a lot of quick drivers today. There's a lot of drivers that are putting in very respectable lap times. Gregor Mullen being one of them. Obviously, he's, like I said, multiple times he's currently sitting P1. Luke being another one who has put in some very impressive laps today. I think he topped the Q2 session in the end. He seems to have immense pace around here, so for me, this will possibly come down to a shootout between Gregor Mullen and Luke for pole. Crazy Griefer obviously hasn't set a lap yet. He's on an out lap. I'm not going to down and out him for the count here because he's a very, very quick driver. His first lap that he set on the last corner near the pit entry, he had a massive wobble, so he lost a massive chunk of time. So obviously he's not down and out for the count, but if he keeps making them errors, he will not be as far up the grid as people would expect him to be. So he's definitely able to put in some laps. Obviously he's invalidated his out lap, which obviously isn't too much of a deal, but Griefer will want to be playing it very, very cautious with these laps. He cannot afford, or he will not want to sacrifice what could be for him the pace of pole position, but he's going to make silly little errors. If he makes some errors, he will be completely stuffed for trying to get further up the grid. Taking turn 1 nicely. We will ride on board with him. Rue looks to be on a lap as well. He's into sector 3. But Crazy Griefer is a driver I want to ride on board with, because this should be his first lap of the session, and it'll be interesting to see where he goes with it, because we know he's quick, we know he's got the potential to put it possibly on the first 2 rows of the grid. What's the word in from J-Wall? Let's try again, lol. We're trying this again. There's 40 people watching me have technical difficulties with Twitch. You love to see it. Crazy Griefer taking it very cautiously through 9 and 10, but he has got through in one piece. Rue, that went a bit under the radar. A 121.7.
He did a good job,
Hmm?
I think that's a really good job, but I'd point out that remasters are literally like 2000s off.
Yep, Rue is very, very close to Gregor Mullen indeed. Oh, Luke's had a spin. Luke's had a spin. This is what I was saying. Crazy Griefer, first lap on the board, a 121.2. That is an insane lap from Griefer. This is why I said he's never down and out for the count. Jable, do you have your prediction for pole position? And I will pigeon it to the stream. Jable's obviously said Crazy Griefer for pole. I had originally said it would be between Gregor Mullen and Luke as a shootout for pole. Oh, Griefer has cut the corner, so his lap is invalidated. But then I also said that Griefer wasn't down and out for the count, because everyone knows how quick he can be. And there's always debates going on about whether he should be in tier 2. You know, he's got a lot of pace, and it's being proven with these qualifying laps. Who's pitting in other laps here? We've got Alp P6, Rob P7, a 122.3. He's just cut turn 1, so he's probably going to be backing off of that. Philip in P8. Everyone is on laps, basically, apart from Rue, who is going into the pits. Manoy in the chat saying this is a nicely varied grid. Didn't expect some of these drivers to make it. That's what I was saying earlier, that Manoy, that the tier 2 lineups and the actual grid itself is so stacked, and there's such a variety of where drivers can finish. So it will be really interesting, the race, just to see where drivers do shape up. Everyone is on laps. Who do we want to ride on board with for the final laps of the session? Crazy Griefer is on provisional pole. Rue is currently P3. Philip is currently P7. Petwada is in the pit. Looks like he will be taking P9. Luke has retired from the session. Did he have a crash? Luke has had a crash. Guess where, guys? At them few corners. That's such a shame for Luke, because he had such good pace, and he possibly had the pace to put it on the front row. Honest Raccoon, P2! A 121.7. That is not a bad lap in the Merc. Rob has retired from the session in P8. Alpa has qualified P6. Honest Raccoon will be absolutely chuffed with that lap, and so will CD, but Crazy Griefer will be starting on pole position for the Australian Grand Prix. He left it till the last minute. Like Jay was saying, it only takes one lap. And he has definitely proven that that theory is right. 121.2 for the Alfa Romeo. Rue saying, P4, are you kidding me? Can't tell if that's that you're annoyed that you're P4 or you're a bit shocked that you're P4. But there is your top 9 from Q3 and your top 9 for the race. Very, very shaken up top 9. Just a quick shout out as well for Petwado, because he put an amazing lap in Q2. And everyone thought he might have finished the session in P1. Obviously, Luke took that away from him. But he has been very, very impressive.
Got 4 minutes to figure this out, right?
Brad is saying, super proud of my boys. Brad is the Alpines are representing. Let's go. And the Alphas. Only one of the Alphas, unfortunately, though, because Callum 11 did have that crash in qualifying.
No, I'm glad I wasn't here.
Luke in the Discord saying he had a screen freeze when he had a purple sector. So that's
That is awful. Everything that happened.
very unfortunate. So Night Owl's put a prediction for Honest Raccoon to lead into turn 1. So is he going to do what Kim...
We don't know how this starts.
Is he going to do what Kimmy did yesterday for the Tier 1 race?
Although,
Someone has really like... We are on the formation lap.
oh, well, close to having to do this like
So I'm going to have to be commentating this 29 lap race around Australia by myself. And I'll have to be pigeoning in what Jay Will was saying unless he will be lurking in the chat.
I'm just trying to find my email. There was might be a second or something you've got turned off. Have you hosted a stream before?
Yeah.
On your own account?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe after this I've just got to delete Twitch and re-download it and see what happens.
Which is boring. I think
Yeah, who readied? Who readied up?
it's screwed very well.
Yeah. So I will run everyone into the tyres. Let's see what everyone's gone with. Interesting little lineup of tyres here. Only one driver on the hards. Rio Fenton, who is in 17th place.
Without telling me have you got the NXR Twitter channel?
What, the thingy in the... Yeah. Yes.
Okay, right. Without telling me
Yes.
right. Okay.
So I'll give a rundown of tyres quickly. So Griefer, Raccoon, Gregor, Rue, Alper, Philip, Callum 11, Razza Gamer, General Jake, Yoan and Yaf Master Flash are all on mediums. And then we have Luke, Rob, Petuardo, Gale, Oil Prince, Eugenio, Hurdle and Shaman all on softs. And then one driver, like I said, Rio Fenton on the hards. As we are now coming up to the line, the formation lap has finished. We are soon to get underway for the Australian Grand Prix, the first race of the Tier 2 season. Brad is saying, it's fine, lots you've been doing fine so far, just make sure to prioritise my drivers for screen time. I'll remember that, Bradders. So right, Jay, well, you can pigeon in little comments and I will relay them to everyone.
I might have to leave you on your own at some point in the I could have done with going at 10 anyways, so if I'm not too fair.
1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights for the Australian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go. Crazy Griefer is still in the lead of the Grand Prix. Honest Raccoon is tucked in behind him, but there's been a lot of position changes. Luke is up to P3, Greg and Mine has dropped to P4, and who's that? Hurdle has dropped all the way down to the bottom of the grid. Has he made contact with someone? Possibly. He spun at turn 1. Philip has also dropped down. Has there been contact there? Gale Force has dropped down to P18. But the big gains from this start, Jaff's obviously gone up to P16. Good start from him. Maybe he's kept it clean. I'm not too sure. Rob's dropped down to P11. He's having a little fight with Callum 11, but also the Williams of Jake behind. Oil Prince has made a really impressive start. He's gone up to 6th place on the softs. And he's not that far from challenging behind with Brewmaster. Is he going to try and make a move into this really horrible part of the track that no one seems to like today? He is ahead of Brewmaster. Brewmaster going a bit wide. He's off the track. Oil Prince has managed to get ahead. And Alper and Raz are having their own little battle here. Alper is ahead of Raz, but Raz looks to have a really good run into these last few corners. Is he going to try and make a move? He's tucked in behind at the moment. Luke has moved up to P2. He seemed, for a moment, to be in P1. He's going to be applying a lot of pressure to Crazy Griefer down the straight. Obviously, Crazy Griefer still in the lead. Sets the fastest lap of 1:30.4. Very, very odd position changes. Hurdle is up to P18. Rob has dropped down the grid. He's in the pits. Did he get wing damage? He seemed to have got wing damage from lap 1. That's really unfortunate for Rob, but now the comeback could be on for him. Rio Fensom is also into the pits. He's having a wing change. Looks like he got caught up in some damage at the start. That's very unfortunate for them. Yoan made a very good start. He started 19th, and he's now up to 13th on the mediums. So, a few position changes, nothing too immense. Oil Prince, like Jay said, had a very, very good start. He's up to P5. But Luke, probably one of the biggest gainers from the start, going up to P2. And he's putting a lot of pressure on Crazy Griefer. He's going to have to be careful here. He doesn't want to get damage early. He doesn't want what happened to Rob and Rio to happen to him, especially when he's so far up the grid. But he is going to apply a lot of pressure onto Crazy Griefer. Just depends how Griefer handles the pressure. Behind Luke Watkins, we've got Honest Raccoon, who had a very, very good qualifying. There's a bit of a gap between Luke and Crazy Griefer. I'm going to ride on board with the two at the front. Luke sets the fastest lap of the race of 1:25.7, and he's still behind Crazy Griefer. But he's putting a lot of pressure going into this corner. Is Luke going to try and make the move? He's nearly on the grass. He is ahead. Luke Watkins is leading the Australian Grand Prix for AlphaTauri. That's very impressive from Luke. Now it's just about keeping it clean and making sure that Griefer doesn't put pressure back on him. Looking at other battles down the grid, we've got Oil Prince, who looks to be wanting to chuck pressure onto Gregor Mullin for P4. The Ferrari running well at the moment. Once again, had another good qualifying session. But Oil Prince looks to have an immense amount of pace around this track. Other battles down the grid, Raza is still battling with Alper for P7. The Williams and the Merc battling it out. CD will be having a heart attack as we speak. Okay, Raccoon's retired! Raccoon has retired from the session. Sorry, I'm getting... That's okay. Okay. Okay, have a little gander for me and I'll see what I can do. Okay, thank you. Thanks. So I was just getting comms from Jaywell, everyone, but Raccoon, after such a good qualifying, crashed at turn 9 and 10. And he is out of the race and we have a virtual safety car. A few drivers going into the pits, Oil Prince going into the pits for what looks to be the mediums. Hurdle is going into the pits, Shaman as well, same with Philip. Few divers, but the virtual safety car is gone in. Well, gone in. Is now not here with us. That is so unfortunate for Raccoon because he had, like I said, such a good qualifying, and obviously he dropped, I think, 1 or 2 positions off the start. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, that'll be very, very disappointing for him. He'll be kicking himself that has happened to him, unfortunately. But riding on board, Luke is still in the lead of the Grand Prix. He's now going to go through this really tricky part of the track, taking it very, very cautiously, as most drivers have been doing. They've seen what's happened to few drivers throughout the race and throughout qualifying. They will know to take turn 9 and 10 very cautiously. Few of the cars spacing out. This battle was still going on between Raz and Alper. CD, don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes yet. Obviously now for a different position. Alper in P5, Raz in P6. Petwado a little bit behind Raz in P7. Jake will want to try and pile some pressure on here to Petwado, who's P7. The Williams versus the Alpine. Jake battling with the car that he used to drive in. Callum 11 not far behind General Jake as well. Obviously Callum 11 having a crash in qualifying. He's made it up to P9. Eugenio having a bit of an underrated start as well, going to P10 in the McLaren. He's putting pressure on Callum 11 behind. A little bit of train of cars here from 7th all the way to 10th. Johan, P11, he had a very good start as well from being so far back on the grid. Same with Jaff, having a really good start. Obviously unfortunate to get that 5th place grid penalty. And Alpa picks up a 3-second time penalty for what seems to be track limits. What was I saying about Jaff? Obviously very unfortunate to have the grid penalty for the crash with Raz. Hopefully that will get investigated through the FIA. But P12 at the moment, he's doing well, and obviously pit stops still got to come into play yet. A good result is still on the cards for the Haas. And Gregor Mullin, he's out. He's out of the session. He's had a crash once again at turn 9 and 10, and it's a safety car. We have a safety car on lap 5 of the Australian Grand Prix. That is so unfortunate for Gregor. He has been immense in qualifying, and he's crashed at the same place where lots of drivers are having problems. This bodes well for Wednesday. Tier 3, watch your backs. That is so unfortunate. 2 drivers who could have got amazing results today are out of the race, and we see the race leader, Luke Watkins, coming into the pits, which has launched Crazy Griefer into the lead with Brewmaster P2, Alpa P3. Luke's going to come out the pits in what looks to be P9. Same corner, what the hell, that place is deadly. Exactly, Manoy, the place is deadly. Luke from the race lead is now running in P9 behind the safety car conditions. Jaff Mustafash ahead of him. What I was saying for Jaff, safety cars or pit stops will come in handy for him. He's now P8 from P12. In the blink of an eye, I was right for Jaff. This now launches Alpa into P3, Rue into P2, and obviously Crazy Griefer into P1. He is now controlling the pace when the safety car goes in. What will he do? Rob and Gale coming into the pits. Gale looks to be on the hards, which is quite interesting. Callum 28 saying, come on Luke, Rue's doing great too. Rue is doing great. I don't know, I couldn't really tell if he was disappointed with his qualifying or was shocked by his qualifying. Obviously P4, for me, I'd say that's pretty good. And now obviously to be P2 in the race. He's doing well. The death chicane has struck again. It has in fact struck again, Artifact. It has in fact struck again. It struck again about 5-6 times in this race. Race and quali combined, sorry. So yeah. Many tier 3 guys will be crudding themselves for turn 9 and 10, me included. Give you a bit of a rundown of the grid, see if anything's changed. Jake running P5, Callum 11 running P6, Raz getting very close to the wall then. You'll want to be careful. No heart attacks today, thank you very much. Obviously, like we said, the race leader, well, the past race leader, running in P9. What can Luke do on new mediums? Can he still challenge for the win? Very close to the back of Jaff then. He's got to be very, very careful. Oil Prince running P10. Obviously, he had a very, very good start. He's obviously dropped back a few positions due to pits. He's on 3-lap old mediums. He pit a few laps earlier than the rest of the drivers, though. Obviously, because he's on different age tyres. Petwado is on the hards. He looked to have pit for them under the safety car. And then we have Genio, Hurdle, Philip, Shaman, and Rob, who are on mediums, and then we've obviously got Galeforce and Rio, the back 2, who are on hards. So there's obviously no one going on to softs. Everyone, the majority of the grid, feeling they can ride comfortably on the mediums. I would probably say the medium's the best tyre to run around on. So let's see what the drivers are going to do. Manoy saying, good thing that I practiced on Sunday, now I know how to actually take that corner. You have to be so cautious through 9 and 10. There's a lot of just, it's one of them corners that you're either going to ace it and you're going to feel great, or you're going to do awful and you'll feel like crap. Excuse my language. Admin, don't tell me off yet. So yeah, it's going to be it's gonna be a strange old restart with the tyres. Obviously Alpa is the only driver who's picked up a penalty so far. We can imagine for track limits the safety car is in this lap, so we will ride on board with Crazy Griefer, who is going to control the safety car restart. Is he going to try and back everyone up? When is he going to make the launch? It's Crazy Griefer, Rue and Alpa who make the top three. Crazy Griefer in the lead of the Australian Grand Prix, going for it quite slow through the last corner, but he looks to have gone. Crazy Griefer has got an amazing start. Rue has been almost caught napping. Let's see what happens here. Alpa's going to try and pile the pressure onto Rue, but Raz, once again, is going to try and pile the pressure onto Alpa. Raz having a bit of a wobble. Luke and Jaff trading places. Luke now going up to P8, but that position won't be given up easily. Jaff will want to get that position back. Not a lot of position change on the safety car restart. Shaman has dropped down a position to Rob. Are they having a little bit of a tussle at the back? Seems to be. Shaman having a bit of a wobble. Riding up the grid, and Eugenio getting the braking all wrong, trying to make a move onto Hurdle. He'd lose a massive chunk of time to him. And Hurdle's going to try and move on Petuardo. He's going to be very careful he doesn't get damage here. But Petuardo has managed to keep him at bay. Hurdle P12, Petuardo P11. Luke and Callum 11 also trading places. Luke is on fire. He's gone all the way up to P6. This, for Luke, will be his race win. This will be the chance for him to say, Tier 2, I am here, I am awake, and I am not ready to give up a fight yet. You guys think I'm gonna slack? No. If Luke doesn't win this race now or get a podium, I reckon he'll be very disappointed. And he's got a good run out of the last corner. He's got Jake ahead of him in the Williams. And I reckon he's going to try and back off into this corner, take it very cautiously through turn 1. Oh, he's had a massive wobble when he's lost a big chunk of time to Jake, but Jake also seemed to have a wobble going out of turn 1, which means he loses a chunk of time to Raz. And what's happened here? Oil Prince! What's happened? He's had a spin. It seems to be that he's had a spin. I don't think there's been any contact. But he's got to be careful because Rio Fensom is right behind. That's very unfortunate for Oil Prince because, like I said, he had a very good start and he was running well. But it seemed to be that he got a bit caught out. And Rio's tried to make a move. He's absolutely darted. Luke is out! Luke is out of the Australian Grand Prix. He has had an off going in to the sector of turn 9 and turn 10. That is incredible. Well, not for him, but oh my god. A driver that people thought could win the race, who I thought could win the race, is out. Commentator's curse. I've done it now. I'm losing my job again. And in all of that chaos, Crazy Griefer picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. That is so unfortunate for Luke. So unfortunate, because he was doing so well. He will be a very unhappy man knowing that I probably cursed him. Sorry about that, Luke. That is so unfortunate, but this completely, from a spectator's point of view, shakes up the grid. This completely changes things now. I don't know how many people thought Luke would go on to win like I did. But this now completely changes things. I'm actually quite shocked. I don't really know what to say to that. Raz has picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. His little battle between him and Alpa's cost them some penalties. Luke's going to complain to the FIA. Lottie needs to lose her job for comms curse. Sorry. Jake has lost a big chunk of time to Raz. Oil Prince gets a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings as well. Looks like the track limits can be very punishing around this track, especially around the corners mainly when I've been racing. mainly the corners in Sector 1, they are a pain for track limits. Crazy Grief is setting the fast lap of the race, a 125.7 in the Alfa Romeo. This looks to be very comfortable for him now. But, like I said, if anyone's going to ride through 9 and 10, they have got to be so careful. Gelfors picks up a 3-second time penalty. What's going on here? Callum 11 has dropped down the grid. Was there contact? We're not sure. But he is now P16. That's very unfortunate for Callum. Jake's picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. The penalties are coming in thick and fast now for drivers. Hurdle is P9. He's also picked up a warning. Or penalty, sorry. Excuse me getting the words wrong. I'm sorry if I do stumble on my words. I'm not very good at this, apparently. Let's see, will Hurdle take it cautiously? Cautiously, that he's nearly dipping tyres onto the grass. Luke in the Tier 2 General saying, lovely race. Think that just about sums it up. Check the battle for P2. What's going on here? Raz and Alpha have been fighting since the start. This has been very intense. And I guarantee that CD will either be loving this or hating this. Johan has a 3-second time penalty. Penalties are coming in thick and fast. This will definitely play into effect for what happens in this race. Raz has got to be really careful doesn't make contact. What's going on up here? Hurdle has got ahead of Jaff and Eugenio has got ahead of Petuardo. Petuardo got a little bit swarmed then by a few cars. Has he got damaged? Because 3 cars have just passed him. It seems that he's disconnected. Says he's left the session. Hopefully he can get back into the session. Luke, that was very, very unfortunate. I'm sorry if I cursed you, because I know you were in the chat. But Crazy Griefer still leading the Australian Grand Prix. Rue running very comfortably in P2. He's doing very well at the moment. Bet I've just cursed him. I'm just not even going to say anything about drivers. Come on, McLaren boys. Virginia running P9. Oh, Rue's run a bit wide. Alpa's going to get a really good run onto the straight. Let's see what happens here with Alpa and Rue. Alpa looks like he'll take this position off of Rue, and he does. Alpa has moved up to P2. But Rue's got to be careful because Raz will now be on the back of him. Rue is going to have a target on his back now. Luke saying thrown away a win. Hurdle picking up another penalty for multiple warnings. Rue getting a bit of a slide out of that corner. Seems like the traction control is being a bit of a pain today. Raz has got a really good run into these corners. Don't think it'll be long before Raz overtakes Rue. Rue having another slide into the corners. He's just got to be cautious and be patient. These slides will not help him in the aspects of losing time or gaining time to Alpa, who has looked to check out. Griefer going through turn 9 and 10, taking it very cautiously. It's interesting to see how drivers take that corner, because there's a lot of ways you can take it. Eugenio getting a 3-second time penalty. So my eyes scanning, I think near enough nearly half the grid have got penalties, which is going to come into effect a lot, especially during the last few laps of the race where it all might kick down. I don't know what phrase I'm throwing around tonight. Eugenio is going to come in and at the end of this and correct me with the right phrases. So let's have a look at the big... I want to have a look at the big gainers. Oh, not penalties. Position changes. Sorry about that, stream. Might have just spoiled it all for you now. Apologies. Johan looks to have made the most gains. 14 places from where he qualified, which is very impressive from Johan in the Ferrari. He'll definitely be taking this as a positive away from the race. Jaff picking up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Very annoying for him. He's currently running P9. Jaff also a massive gain off the start. 11 places. Callum 11 and 24.5. Obviously he's running P17. Not sure if there was contact with Callum 11 causing him to drop that far down the grid, or he spun. Another big gainer, Mr. Razagamer, who is now making a move on Rue. Is it going to stick through this corner? It is. Raz is up to P3 and he's spun. He's made contact with Rue. Rue has spun Raz in that fight for P3. And Raz is dropping down the order. He will not be happy with that. Just as I go to switch away. Thank you for that entertainment. And Raz is going into the pits. Has he got damage? Possibly wing damage from that contact. Raz has also picked up a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, that is so unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. He's dropped down to P15. That is so unfortunate for Raz. And Shaman's managed to jump him in the pit. Callum 11 looks to be the only driver who hasn't jumped Raz. He will be absolutely fuming with that contact. But for Johan, looking good. 16 places better. Rue will maybe be having a nice little visit to the FIA's office after this race. Depends what happened. But from here, we caught it that almost Raz had a bit of a lag and has ended up making contact with Rue. Hurdle, also a massive gainer, 10 places. Obviously he's got penalties, but massive gainer in the race. One of the massive losers of the races, obviously we can talk about the 3 that have retired. Honest Raccoon, Gregor Mullin, and the race leader at one point, Luke Watkins. So unfortunate for them 3. After having a good Q1, Q2 and Q3. Very consistent on pace throughout the sessions. Luke will be fuming that he's thrown away a run. Oh, Hurdle's gone off track. Oh, is there wing damage for Hurdle, who has a massive wobble going into that corner? He looks to maybe have wing damage. Can we see? He has in fact, by the looks of things, got wing damage. He will be dropping a few positions down the grid now. Hurdle also gets another penalty. Johan now up to P2. And that is so unfortunate for Hurdle, who also made massive gains in this race from where he had qualified. Hurdle might need to start moving out of the way for some cars that want to come through. Jaff also now 13 places better. Very impressive from him. But so unfortunate for Hurdle. He just needs to take it cautious, get to the pits, fix the issue and see what comes of the rest of the race. We're on lap 16. Crazy Griefer is still leading the Australian Grand Prix, with Johan running P2 and Rue, who's overtaken Jake and Alba, who's gone into the pits for P3. Callum 11 getting a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings again. Hurdle has gone into the pits. Did he have wing damage? He did indeed have wing damage. That's very, very unfortunate for Hurdle. Let's see if he can make a good comeback through the rest of the grid. And Eugenio is out in the McLaren, and that is a safety car. The safety car is out for the Australian Grand Prix. Oh no, things are going to get shaken up now. Obviously, firstly, very unfortunate for Eugenio, who seems to be having a really good race. Let's see if we can have a little gander at where this has happened. And there it is. Eugenio's had a spin going into that corner. Very unfortunate for him. He was doing really well, and McLaren and Ali and Shaman, I'm sure, will look at that and say to him, look, you were doing great. Don't beat yourself too much up over it. Just got my phrases wobbled again. Great. But here we go. Griefer into the pits. Same with Johan, same with Rue, and same with Jake. Same with Jaff. Same with Oil Prince. Front six going into the pits. Luke saying, man, I'm so peed off. Basically, everyone in the top 10 going into the pits. Let's have a gander. What tyres are they all on? Rob is the only one in the top 10 with mediums on. Rob, you madman, what are you doing? Eugenio saying, might have got top 5, but no, have to spin on an easy corner. Look, it happens sometimes, Eugenio. It's really unfortunate. It's a very, very punishing track. So, you done well to run that great and be in that position. It's very impressive, and you definitely should take that away from the performance that you've had today. So the grid is now going to be shaken up a lot under the safety car. Like I said, like we've seen before, Griefer obviously will be leading the safety car restart. Minoy saying, I'm pretty sure he means Rob. I'm pretty sure Minoy means Rob. Is going to win because everyone else's tyres will explode. I don't know if they are sure of that. Minoy, are you sure of that? That would be an interesting little concept. It depends how long the tyres can run for. But Crazy Griefer is leading the Australian Grand Prix. Johan, for me, has been very, very impressive. To obviously, if we go back to position changes, 17 places better from when he started. Manoy saying no, but I'm sure they will be pretty dead, so Robbie will win it. Manoy is praying currently. Manoy is on his knees praying. No 11 laps is normal, says Luke. Callum 28 said, I think maybe the last 3 to 4 laps Rob should be slightly better, but it's not going to be too different. Maybe for the last 3 or 4 laps we'll have a little gander at what Rob's doing, especially on a wheel as well. That will definitely play its part. But there are 10 laps left of the Australian Grand Prix, and Crazy Griefer is still in the lead, but with Johan behind him, who has been making massive gains throughout the race. Could Johan jump him on the safety car restart and get a really good run? Also, why would I support Rob when I am Ferrari? So Johan, please do your thing. Minoy is not biased. He just loves Ferrari. Let's go back to stops. Obviously, I'm looking at stops. Haven't looked at this. The only driver to do only drivers to do 3 stops are Mr. Icelandic Rob, Mr. Gelforce, P11 himself, and Rio Fenton. Gelforce is currently in the points, and the safety car is coming in this lap. This is going to be very, very interesting. Crazy Griefer is obviously going to lead the cars away from the safety car restart. He is going to control the pace. Please do not cause something that happened at Mugello 2020, Crazy Griefer, I swear to God, because I'm going to have to commentate over it. And I'm on my own. Luke has rejoined the session. Luke, what shenanigans are you pulling at? I pick up on the stupidest details, but Crazy Griefer is going to lead us away. How will this start be? And will Johan be able to capitalise on this start? Rue is running P3, but like I said, he might be taking a trip to the FIA office. Let's see what happens. Is Griefer going to go? And he's gone. And Johan doesn't have that much of a better start than Crazy Griefer does. Johan has managed to almost drop a bit of time to him. Crazy Griefer is still leading the Australian Grand Prix, but he spun! Crazy Griefer has spun coming out of turn 1. He is dropping down the order. That is so unfortunate. Crazy Griefer has spun all the way down to P12. Oh my god. That is incredible scenes here at the Australian Grand Prix. Johan is now leading the Australian Grand Prix, and Gale Force gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. This is incredible. Rio Fenton a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Hurdle was dropped down to 16th. Has he had a bit of an accident? Seems to be that what brought out the yellow flag. That has now been cleared up. Michael Massey quickly on that one. But Johan, with a penalty, is now leading. Shaman's had a bit of an accident. That's brought out a yellow flag. The lead is cursed. The lead is cursed. I curse whoever leads. So, Manoy, just wait for something to happen to Johan. I'm just saying. But that is so unfortunate for Griefer, who had immense pace today and was leading most of the race since Luke crashed out. Johan putting the fastest lap in for the race, the 24.2. What's going on there? We've got some position changes. Has Rio is going into the pits. Does he have damage, or is he going for fastest lap? He has damage. Wonder where he'd got that damage from. And Raz is also into the pits. Has he had a wing change? It seems to be. Are Rio and Raz going to try and fight it out for fastest lap? Same with Hurdle. Are they all going to try and fight it out for the fastest lap, even though they've all changed wings due to wing damage? Grief has picked up another penalty for multiple warnings. Gale Force has dropped down to P10. Still running in the points at the moment. Alpa has left the session. Maybe connection issues for Alpa. He'll be dropping down the grid due to not being in the game. That's unfortunate for Alpa, who is having a good race. Jaff also picks up another penalty for multiple warnings. Philip is now running in P6 in the Haas. Jaff is running P4 on his Tier 2 debut. Very impressive from the Haas man. Sure that our current Tier 1 World Champion Kimiar and C. Davies will be absolutely loving Jaff getting a good result. Johan, another fastest lap of the race, a 1:24.1 for Ferrari. Johan can see this in his grasp. But what will the penalties do? And will Rue be right there at the end of it all? And he doesn't have any penalties. Obviously, Rue will possibly take into consideration that contact with Raz. But he is right there fighting for the win, depending on what these penalties do. At the current moment, unless Johan pulls out a big gap, Rue will be winning the Australian Grand Prix. This is quite incredible scenes, really. The Alpine boys and girl will be absolutely loving this. Manoy saying, hold on, it is Rue who is leading. So Rue has provisional lead of the Australian Grand Prix. Bradders will be loving life right now. Let's have a look at some other positions. Jake and Jaff are fighting it out for P3. Hurdle gets another penalty. I don't even want to know how many penalties this man has now. What's happening with Gale? Has he made a bit of contact with Cam 11, who's also now back up to 11th? Gale will not be happy that Mr. P11 does not have his P11. Johan, another fastest lap of 24.0, his pace looking unreal. Callum 11, darting for the pits. Rue picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is not what he needs. With 6 laps left of the race, Rue did not need to pick up a penalty. Gelforce a 3-second time penalty. Jake's had a bit of an off. He's running all squirmy over the curbs. That puts Jaff into P3, Oil Prince into P4. Jake will be very, very annoyed he's done that. Who have we got here? Philip and Crazy Griefer fighting it out for P6. Not where you'd expect Crazy Griefer to be after qualifying. Hurdle has come in with the fastest lap, a 1:23.8. Knew it. Hurdle, you are amazing. And Crazy Griefer was going to try and make a move on the inside of Philip then. Philip's managed to defend it well. What's going to happen? Both taking it very cautiously. Both two very different lines through 9 and 10. But Crazy Griefer has absolutely sent it on Philip. Raz are picking up another 3-second time penalty. Same with Jake. Crazy Griefer absolutely sent it on Philip. That was very impressive. Make sure to check the time penalties with a lap or two to go, because it's going to be a good end. I'm already on it, Halsey. Don't you worry, boy. Ali saying Shaman points. There he is. Could it happen? Could it goddamn happen, Ali? Shall it happen? I will be very, very happy. Halsey, we will put the penalties on at, like, 27. So 3 more laps of not knowing. And then we will get the all grand reveal. My throat's gonna kill me after this. What's going on here? Callum and Raz fighting it out. Hurdle puts in another fastest lap, 23.5. Go on, son. What battles have we got going on track? Does there seem to be a battle between Alpa and Rob? If Alpa can pull some time to Rob. He's back in the session now. What's Alpa going to do with these last few laps? Is he going to be able to make the move on Rob? Or will Rob become the Mexican Minister of Defense? And will he absolutely smash it? And defend from Alpa to finish P8? Ooh. And remember as well, Alpa has penalties. So, it's going to be interesting. Oil Prince has got ahead of Jaff. But he's also had a massive wobble going out of them first few corners. Hurdle. Stop picking up penalties, goddammit. Jaff and Oil Prince having both a very, very different line through that corner. If we look currently, the top 6 have all got penalties. The only drivers without penalties are Philip, Rob, Petwado, Shaman. There are 4 drivers without penalties. This is going to be a really interesting finish, and I can't wait to commentate this. But Johan is still in the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. We've got a yellow who spun. Maybe not a spin. But Callum 11 and Raz have made contact. Raz is out of the race! Raz has retired on lap 25. And there's a safety car. We have a safety car on lap 25 of the Australian Grand Prix. This is going to be very interesting. Oh my. So what even happened? It looked like Callum 11 and Raz made contact going into that corner. It looks like Callum 11 hit Raz, and Raz just went into the wall and lost it. Shaman could get a top 5. This would be... I can't wait to commentate this. Also, Philip is going to eat good tonight. Philip is going to be eating very good tonight. I need a minute to compose myself. Apologies for that, everyone. this is very interesting. So Crazy Griefer pits under the safety car for new softs. Same with Gale and same with Rio. So that'll be interesting to see if they can make any big gains off of this restart. Johan, for the first time this race, will be controlling a safety car restart if he does not crash into the safety car. Jesus, Johan, play it safe. You are in the lead. Obviously, I don't know what penalties are looking like. Philip should at least get a podium. Well, let's see. This is going to be one spicy meatball, saying Bradders. Can we see pens? I'm going to do pens. Oh, I said 27? Here are the penalties. Hurdle DNF'd as well in all of that chaos. I was looking for Hurdle's penalties and then he weren't even there. Apologies for that, Hurdle. I didn't pay you enough attention. But these are the current penalties. Philip is going to be eating very nicely. And I'm not even able to do interviews because Twitch and my Xbox are not coordinating with each other. Philip, if you win this race and I can't interview you, I am so sorry. Who's eating good? Philip, Rob, Petwado, and Shaman. They are all eating good. And what's happened to Alpa? Has Alpa had a bit of a moment? There's no contact. Did he spin? What's happened to Alpa? He's dropped all the way down to 14th. Oh my god, Rob and Griefer are getting 5-second time penalties for ignoring yellow flags. What's happened there? Rob was running really well. We hadn't picked up any penalties. Gels picked up a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellows. Alpa slid in the split second you focused on him. Manoy, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, that's really unfortunate for Alpa. It's getting a bit feisty. Oh! What's happened there? Grief has now just got another 5-second penalty for crashing with Petwado. It's all going down. Think the FIA will remove them 5 seconds? Yeah. That's mostly what's going to happen. Yeah, Artifact saying those pens will go. Yeah, let's hope you're right, Artifact. Right, what have we got here? Johan is leading on lap 28. What's happened to Griefer? He's out of the race. He's retired. Alpa's picked up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but what's happened to Griefer? Has he had a spin? Has he gone into the pits? No one will ever know. Well, we probably will. He'll probably tell us afterwards. But Johan is leading the Australian Grand Prix with Brewmaster behind in the Alpine. Rob picks up another 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Then we have Oil Prince and Jaffmaster Flash, who is running incredibly well in P4. For anyone asking them, I'm not biased to Jaff. Shaman running P12. Did he make a bit of contact? Has he got damage? He has no front wing. Shaman has no front wing. Oh, this is so unfortunate for Shaman. Oh, just Phillips picked up a 3-second time penalty. He was one of the drivers that was meant to be getting a good result out of this race. Philip will be kicking himself now. Manoy saying no Shaman. Eugenio saying no Philip. Contrasting emotions. For same emotions, different people. In the chat, should still get third? Let's hope. There's been an accident. Rob's had a spin. Rob's had a spin. That is so unfortunate for Rob, who up until these last few laps was running an excellent race. Shaman and Rob look like they're going to have their own little tussle. Shaman, do not mess this up. And Rob's run off track. Shaman's ahead. What's going on with them two? But Johan, we're on the final lap of the Australian Grand Prix, and Johan is leading the Grand Prix. What the hell just happened in the span of one lap? Brothers, chaos happened. That's what I'm gonna say. Rob is now plumb last. Shaman and Rob are in their own little tussle. They'll laugh about this afterwards, but Johan has drove an excellent race today. If we quickly look at position changes, 18 places better than where he started. And also really good shout outs for Oil Prince, who's 11 places better, Jaff, who is 16 places better, and Jake, who is 8 places better. But we are going to ride on board with Johan as he rounds the final 2 corners. He has drove an excellent race today, the Ferrari man. He has done nothing wrong all race, and he is going to come home to win the first race of the season. Johan wins the Australian Grand Prix, but what will penalties do? Johan has won. Roux has finished P2 for Alpine. Philip has finished P3 for Haas. Wow! We have 3 different constructors on the podium. Johan for Ferrari, Roux for Alpine, and Philip for Haas. Really good shout out for Jaff, who's got P4 in the Haas. Petwado coming home P5, Jake finishing P6, Rio, after all of that chaos, finishes P7. Callan 11 P8, Oil Prince P9, Gale 10th, Rob 11th, and Shaman in 12th. Johan getting driver of the day. And you know what? I can't argue with that. I think he deserves it. What an incredible race. It's the Ferrari man that comes home in P1. Johan has won the Australian Grand Prix. He went from having a quali ban and still won the race. What an amazing result for Johan. What a race. That was absolutely crazy. I must say it. Amazing race for Roux. We obviously don't know if these results are going to be final for Roux because of the contact Raz. Let's hope that they are. Philip driving an incredible race as well. P3. Incredible for him. Jaff, like I said, amazing shout out for him. He drove an amazing race. Petwado having a very good qualifying, even better race. Jake, P6 in the Williams. CD will be very happy with that result. Ali will be very happy with Rio getting P7. Callum 11 finishing P8 after all of the chaos in qualifying, dropping down the order. He's still done quite well. Oil Prince in P9 for the AlphaTauri, Gale Force and Shaman finishing P10 and 11. Gale Force getting points, so congratulations to him. Rob getting P12, Alpa P13, and then we go to our Crazy Griever finishing P14, and then the last few drivers here who had retired. Hurdle DNF, Raz DNF after contact with Callum 11, Eugenio crashing, Luke Watkins crashing, and then Gregor and Honest Raccoon crashing. What an intense race this has been in Tier 2. Johan coming out on top. So, apparently, Artifact saying Pete is P3 because the time pens haven't registered for Philip and Jaff. So if this is true, would that mean Petwado would be P3? Things might have just got shaken up here. Things might have been shaken up. At the moment, it's a Haas on a podium. I thought Monoy would be quite happy with that because it's a Haas on a podium. But wow, if Petwado does finish on the podium, that's very, very impressive. He will be getting a lot of love and attention from the Alpine boys. I don't really know what else I can tell you guys. It was just intense the whole way through. Well, firstly, the first thing I can say, sorry about the technical difficulties. Oh my god. What a mess, eh? Yeah, what a bit of a mess. So I can only apologise about the technical difficulties. My Xbox needs a good kicking up the bum, to say the least. But I hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. I'm glad I can be back doing comms. Hopefully I've got J-Wall next weekend. God forbid. My voice cannot take this anymore. Thank you guys for sticking with the chaos that today was. And honestly, I hope you guys enjoyed the race, because I've absolutely loved doing the commentary over it. It's been an incredible race, an incredible result, like I've said, for Yoan, for Rue, and for Philip. Maybe Petwado. Don't know what's going to happen with that one. But just an amazing result all around. And let's just hope the season brings more chaos like this, because it will definitely shake things up. And like I said, come back here on Wednesday at 8:30, where you will see moi and J-Will, and we will be racing in Tier 3 on Wednesday at 8:30. More racing. Can't go wrong with that. But yes, thank you everyone for sticking around and watching and listening to me mess up my phrases. But I hope you all have enjoyed the stream. Thank you for watching. Be back here on Wednesday for Tier 3. Appreciate all of the thanks for the comms. And yeah, we will see you all on Wednesday for Tier 3.